A very good morning to you watching West Nile Television. You're most welcome for the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV that starts every Mondays to Fridays. And what we do on the show is we give you issues that happen within your facilities, within your vicinities, within your areas, and nationally. And also at times we give you what happens globally. So I think you have the right to always get tuned to West Nile TV Kokoliriko live show. And this is where we give you a lot in terms of information where you also need to be knowing. And at times what we do is we bring your guests also to explain more on some of the issues that may be affecting our areas. And today as well, we also expect to be having a guest, and this is from the Arua City Chamber of Commerce, the new president-elect, the Dry Chabo Trinity Caesar. He will be with us also on the show to explain for us how this association will help bridge the gap between the traders and the other relevant authorities. So I think we also want to bring him on board and make an understanding of how this association will help the various business people out there. I think this is right. We are expecting him, and he will be also telling us more when it comes to this association here. And with that, we have quite a lot happening within the region, and for now, really, we are witnessing the grasshopper period, and this period really is one that is at times very bad and may become a death trap for our children. So I think we need to protect our children during this time, and as they are returning back for holidays, I do understand that the P7 candidates are already back home, the senior 4s are as well back home, not forgetting the senior 6 candidates, and may be finalizing their exams within this week. So I think once they come back home, we have the mandate as parents, as guardians, as the various stakeholders to ensure that we protect them and we give them the right advice so that they are not really left out, and maybe they do not get involved in other various or dubious activities that may end up risking their lives. I think this is what we need to do as stakeholders, as parents. You may not be a parent, you may not be a guardian necessarily, but you may be one person who may have the right advice for these children. So I think let's ensure that we do that. By that, we will really protect them. And as the students are coming back home, several stakeholders there, and this is in Moyo, they are appealing for these parents and guardians to get their children actively involved in other activities. Yes, and it is actually the right thing. If we keep our children very busy with that, they will be able to they will be occupied, and they will not be left bored, because boredom is actually one area that has been leading these children into other bad activities. So I think if we really engage them by keeping them very busy in terms of other activities like farming and other productive hand skills, and this would also help them, because if we really keep them busy with our works, it will really be of great importance to them. And at the end of the day, it will also help them avoid being bored, because an idle mind, we have that saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop, which is really quite true. Because if I have nothing to do, I will be always thinking of what to do, and I will be moving anyhow. So I think we have the mandate to see to it that these children are protected. And for the children who are also coming home, please know that the world outside school is not like how it is back at school, because at school you're protected, and now you're coming back home where the protection is very much reduced and it's not that strict. So I think you also have the right to ensure that your personal security is guaranteed, because nobody is going to do that for you. And once you come back home, please, let's ensure that we listen to our parents, we listen to the various stakeholders, we listen to our neighbors, we listen to everybody who is going to give us the right piece of information. So I think that is also something as learners, as they come back home, they also need to ensure that, because that is also part of their mandate, to ensure that they protect themselves, because nobody out there is really going to be protecting, is going to take care of you. And with the grasshopper period, we have really witnessed its disadvantages, and besides other factors that has really been fueling teenage pregnancy in this region, we have seen the grasshopper period really impacting drastically, to see to it that the numbers really keep on shooting up every year. And we did, and as the business people are now smiling, I can, at least as I could move to town, I could be able to see a number of women moving with grasshoppers in their sacks. So I think that really tells us that the grasshoppers really started coming to them. And for the poor have been putting the lights, at least they now have hopes, and now they are smiling, and they're receiving the monies. But I now want also to caution them against the safety of other people who are coming for these grasshoppers, and these lights really have to be I don't know how they can really take care of the other people who are coming for these grasshoppers, because the lights are really very sharp. I could really see them very brightly. So I think they may also be having an impact on the eyes of the people in the long run. So I think if you are doing this business, you really need to ensure you're protective. You need to ensure that you have protective gear for your own safety. And you can actually purchase these small glasses to see to it that these lights do not directly reflect into your eyes, but rather have a reflection maybe from the glasses. So I think that will also help reduce on the effects and the risks of you contracting eye diseases. So I think this is where we also need to really advise the people doing this business, and then they also need to ensure the safety of people, because this thing is done through electricity. We also need to avoid people getting shocked maybe through the recklessness of the wires being thrown down. We need to ensure that the wires are really very much well insulated, so that at the end of the day, our people who come for these grasshoppers, the children, these are the majority who come for the children, the girl child mostly, and the boy child also not left out. These are the victims who may be falling prey into the hands of your recklessness or into the hands of vultures who are out there really waiting for these people, the predators, and who are actually really waiting for these children to really get to spoil them. So I think we have the mandate to see to it that when our children are going out, they move in groups, they move with people who will protect and who will protect them once they're out there. So at the end of the day, our children are really very safe and they are not left out. So I think with this, we have the mandate to ensure that our children are very much protected during the grasshopper period, because it is one area, it is one season. Because it also comes during the festive season when the children are really back home, as I did earlier on allude to, because they are now coming back. And this is the time when they are home, they are moving with their friends, they are meeting so many people, they are meeting so many and other bad people who have evil intentions towards them, because some people may not be understanding that these are really children that they need protection. They are coming out for these things. Some of them are coming out due to excitement, actually. They may not be coming out necessarily to ensure that they are coming for these grasshoppers. And to the parents who have the money, please, let's ensure and protect our children that they do not move out during this grasshopper period. If they want grasshopper period, if they want to eat grasshoppers, let's ensure that we purchase and buy it for them and keep them home, because at the end of the day, it is not the money that you are really going to spend on buying grasshoppers, but now if you put them at risk, you can then just imagine how much expense you're going to incur towards these losses that maybe you'll be able to go through. So I think we have the mandate to ensure to it that we protect our loved ones, we protect our children during this grasshopper period here. And now, moving away from this, we really have quite a lot. We all have a right to play. We all have part to play as stakeholders to ensure to it that we really do something to see to it that our children are safe, especially during this period here. And now, moving away from this West Nile sub-region with the issues of grasshoppers, Anita Among has stopped troubles for boycotting MPs and committee positions. And what does this mean? As the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Among, is cautioning these committee members and the MPs who are boycotting sessions, what does this mean? And is there any law that really protects them during this period? And yeah, what does it mean to her as the leader, as the leader of the House, because she's the big boss in the House, and now she also, remember, she has her own roles and she has also her own privileges. So I think with this, is it really going to be stopping? Is it going to be a stepping stone to see to it that these MPs who have been boycotting, or those who have been avoiding, actually, this is really, some may be avoiding them for unnecessary reasons. Remember, the opposition MPs have recently been boycotting the parliamentary sessions in the last weeks. I think that is really also something that we really need to involve ourselves and have a small say about. They really came out clearly to complain about the members that are missing, and they demanded government to produce these members. And we also did see it yield, because some of the members were really produced and they were really released, and we also expect the campaign to be done more, and we expect government also to come out clearly to explain, because without the opposition members in parliament, the House is incomplete. This is something that we have really also seen. That time recently, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Tayeba, also did allude to. So I think without opposition MPs in Parliament, the House is really quite is not balanced, because you cannot tell me as proportion MPs alone we are going to be debating, and what are we going to be debating? And that means that most likely we are going to be agreeing on issues that may necessarily not be in need of agreement. So I think we need the opposition MPs back in Parliament to see to that service delivery is improved, so that we see to that the debates are really balanced, so that at the end of the day, it is to the benefit of the ordinary person who elected them to these positions, who did vote them to go to this parliament. So I think she has a right to ensure that these MPs are brought back. And now we are really seeing these travels. This is one of the privileges that members of parliament have really been enjoying, these travels. They move to these European countries, they move to outside, and this is parliament. So I think we also have the right to see to that those who have been boycotting are really brought to task. Those who have really, the committee, and this is mostly with the MPs and the committee chairpersons, and this is really something that maybe, if it is clearly addressed, at the end of the day, it will speed up the debates in parliament, it will speed up the bills, because these members of parliament are not there to only go and talk, they are there to make regulations for the country. So I think as legislators, they have the mandate not to boycott this parliament, but sometimes they are forced because of other reasons, as I did allude to, because the opposition members of parliament, if you have to look at why they have been boycotting Parliament of late, it is just because they are demanding for their opposition members who were arrested in the past years. So I think they also have a mandate to see to it that they really do this. And she actually made it clear that if MPs miss 15 consecutive sittings without seeking permission from her office, they may face expulsion. What does this mean if you miss 15 times without permission? And really, why would you miss 15 consecutive sittings? And this is in a row. Today you miss, tomorrow you miss, the other day you miss, the other weeks you miss. 15 times, really. If you are expelled, are we going to be saying that she also is not doing her right? Are we going to say that she's so unfair? So I think she has a right, and she has really, her communication is quite clear to the MPs, and now we ensure those who have been missing and those who have been boycotting these these parliamentary sittings to up their games. And with that, we really also have to ensure that they go back to Parliament and start debating for the benefit of the ordinary masses. And if it's not done that way, then at the end of the day, the laws will just be like that, without any help, without any other activity, without any benefit to the ordinary poor and who elected these positions, and they may just be consuming our monies without providing services, because these MPs and these committee chairpersons are paid using money of the taxpayers. So I think if they really earn this money without the heavy monies that they're earning, without really ensuring that they do a lot, they really ensure that they ensure their mandates are really fulfilled in terms of sitting, chairing their committees to see to that service delivery is improved, then at the end of the day it will be a great disservice to the people of this country. So I think with that, we really also have to really, me, I will support her to see to it that really she continues with this, so that at the end of the day, these members come. And really also she has the mandate as government to address these post grievances, because these people have not really stepped, some of them have not moved out of Parliament without any unnecessary reasons. Some of them have their demands, and I think government also needs to come out clearly to ensure that they really fulfill these post demands, so that at the end of the day, everybody is happy in the house, and the debates will really be to the benefit of the country. So I think that is it, something that we really need to ensure that if well addressed, it will also help, it will also be to the benefit of this country. And now moving on, and we are witnessing gender-based violence on the rise in the country, and this is really something that is really quite shocking. And with the hard economic constraints, and gender-based violence may really be that quite bad, because we have really heard of gender-based violence. And if we talk about gender-based violence, this is where domestic violence falls, child neglect, so many other cases that are really registered under the gender-based violence. And it is not only registered by males alone, and by females alone, I mean, and we have also had cases of males being victims of gender-based violence. So I think we need to ensure that we sensitize the locals. We need to ensure that we bring new regulations to see to it that people are helped in terms of gender-based violence. And now we have had, and we have seen the economic constraints have really made it very difficult, and they are really fueling up the cases of gender-based violence in this country. And as per recent research on gender-based violence against women and girls in 2021, it was indicated that 46,000 cases of GBV were reported, and out of these 40,000 of these cases were registered by the females. And what does this mean? It means that the women are more at risk of suffering from gender-based violence, and 6,000 as well were registered by the males. So that tells us that it is not only the males that suffer from gender-based violence, but most males can also suffer from it, because at the end of the day, we have seen so many campaigns advocating. We have so many women feminists, we have so many other women's rights activists advocating for the rights of the females alone, leaving the males out, because at the end of the day, we have really seen these 6,000 cases are reported. And then what about those that are not reported? Because we know the resilience of men towards reporting their cases to the authorities, and really, and I believe these numbers would actually be more if males reported their cases. And with that, it really tells us that there's really quite a lot that we need to do. We need to ensure as stakeholders, at the end of the day, it is to the benefit of us all, because gender-based violence is something that is really very bad. And that is why we are having, we have days to commemorate and fight against GBV. And every year we have these days, this week actually, to talk about GBV. And GBV is really something that is really quite shocking. And now we're witnessing it on the rise. And what does that mean? It means that we really have to go back to the drawing boards and find out challenges that are affecting us as families, and to ensure to it that as families, as stakeholders, we ensure that so many campaigns are put towards addressing the challenges of gender-based violence, because these gender-based violences are really not quite well. They have really caused a lot of problems in families. Some of them have led to permanent disabilities among people. So I think we really also have to ensure that GBV is addressed. And GBV as well can also lead to Loss of lives. We have seen people killing themselves. We have seen people being killed as a result of GBV. And if you talk about domestic violence, this is really quite shocking. And in Arua City as well, it is on the rise. We have seen so many of these cases keeping on shooting up each and every day. And if you move to the Child and Family Protection Unit, this is where the entity that deals with gender-based violence sits. I think this is where you really witness that so many cases of GBV are being registered, and each and every day where you move to these facilities, you will see victims of GBV reporting cases, and some of them even come up with bruises, and that means that GBV is really quite still very much in this region, and it means that we really have things to do. We still have a role to play to see to it that GBV is addressed and GBV is really help, and the victims really also ensure that they get the help that they need, because GBV at the end of the day, if not well addressed, then it will really put our lives at risk. It will really put our people to suffer, because GBV is one thing that really is quite shocking. And now with the return of the children home, we may also be seeing GBV on the rise, because these children sometimes they come with their own problems. And if you look at this, we have our families that are extended. Sometimes this is where we have seen GBV also very much going up. If you look at extended families and you see somebody having 2 wives, at times there is no equality between these two. In terms of resource sharing, you do not see equity when the resources are being shared. So I think with that also we have seen GBV fueling. And then if you look at the children also born out of the marriages, and these are also sometimes brought home, and they really also tend to cause, and they at times also suffer from GBV. That if you look at these children, sometimes the stepmothers do not love them, do not also mistreat them, and that at times also leads to GBV. So I think we have a role to play to see that GBV is kicked out of this region and out of this country at large, because GBV is one thing that is really something that is not good and something that really should be condemned at the end of the day, and then to also be able to help everybody to see to it that they really kick this vice out, because it is not a vice that is so good. And if we really do not talk about it, then we shall be able to be doing a disservice to this people. So I think that is something also we need to do. We need to ensure that we really move out of it. And now, if you have to look at it, if you have to look at it with keen eyes, elders have a role to play to see that GBV is addressed. Because if you have to look at it, the statistics, the numbers keep on shooting each and every day. And then what does that mean? It means that then we are not doing much when it comes to GBV, and then maybe our expectations are very much high also sometimes, and then that means that we really have a mandate to sit with that. We talk about GBV, we discuss with the relevant stakeholders, we have community engagements, we have really seen this. We need to ensure that we have dialogues on the various media platforms so that we talk about GBV and its dangers and how risky it is, such that at the end of the day it will really be to the benefit of this ordinary person who is really suffering, because you do not have to suffer silently, be it a man or a woman. Now it is clear that anybody is a victim of GBV, irrespective of your sex. You can be a man, you can be a woman, still you can suffer from GBV in the hands of your partners. So I think we have a role to see to it that we talk about these issues of GBV, we address it very well, and if we have cases, do not sit back, because if you sit back, you continue suffering. It's better you come out clearly to report these cases, and you get help so that at the end of the day it will really also help you. And that is it. We need to also ensure that we talk about GBV quite clearly, because GBV is something that is not well, and if it is not talked about, it will really also fuel our people. And now we're talking about GBV also, and it is something that has not just started right now. The religious leaders have talked about it, and now what is it that they have to do? Religious leaders are stakeholders in this. In their preachings, I want to implore them to also talk very much about GBV that is on the rise. They are the people that really, I believe, can put out the right message, that can really give out the right information to the public at the end of the day, because the public really believes them sometimes more than the other leaders. So I think as religious leaders, you have a right to play. You have a role to play to see that GBV is addressed in your preachings, in the churches, in the mosques, in the other various places where you preach from. You need to ensure that you talk about GBV in your preachings, because at the end of the day, it should not be a fight that is for the government alone or for the international body alone, because we have also seen international community coming out to clearly put out a fight against GBV, and this is really something that we need to ensure. And if it is well addressed, at the end of the day, it will also help our people. It will really help everybody to sit with that. It helps people. It helps that ordinary Ugandan. It helps that ordinary African. because GBV is something that is really quite bad. It is a vice that should be condemned. It is a vice that should not be supported in any way, because at the end of the day, if it is not well addressed, then our people will keep on suffering. And moving away from GBV cases, security now within this period, this is the festive season. You need to ensure vigilance of yourself and your property, because during this period here, because if you have to look at today is 23rd, we are remaining with just very few days to head to December. And within December, we know what happens. It is the festive season where we tend to witness a lot of road accidents. And now, given the fact that with this rainy season, you can really tell of how bad our roads are. So I think really we have a role to play to see that our safety on these roads is very much guaranteed. It starts with you. Nobody is going to take care of your safety on these roads. It starts with you. It is you to protect yourself first, and then you get the protection from other people. And for those who are moving in these machines, the cars, the vehicles, the motorcycles, the bicycles, let's ensure that we have also protect the rights of the citizens, because at the end of the day, if we do not really protect them, who is to protect them? If you're putting their lives at risk, you're going to knock somebody dead, and then you start regretting of that overspeeding. So I think we have a role to play to see to it that we do not put the lives of all the road users at risk during this festive season. Because if you look at today, is 23rd, meaning we are remaining with less than 6 days or perhaps 7 days to the end of the month. So I think we have a role to play to see to it that we address, and we also ensure our safety during this festive season here, because the festive season at times come with their issues. If you have to look at the issues, really, you witness that the accidents are on the rise, theft is on the rise, and other criminal activities that tend to very much go during this period here, because people have to survive. Other people they are looking for survival to survive by all means during this period here. So I think we have the right to protect our properties. And this is to the people who are in villages. The goats, you're going to lose them. The cows, you're going to be losing them during this period. So I think it is time we start tying our goats. For those of you who have been leaving your goats to move anyhow, your goat may move anyhow forever. So I think we need to ensure that we protect our property, and let's have the security guaranteed. And to the security operatives also, you people have the role to play to that you beef up your security to see that the citizens are protected, and you can do this through the rampant patrols during this period here. You can take the patrols and move around and ensure that everybody is protected, and the LC systems as well that have been in place. So I think you also have the role to play to see that the people you lead are protected from these bad people who have the ill intentions of just wanting to steal rather than going out to work. And this is why we also need to encourage the youths. Within this period here, it is not quite good it's not quite good because to be lazy. It is time for you to work hard rather than just wanting to go and steal and earn from. So I think within this period here, we have the mandate to go and do small activities to see that you earn money that you want to enjoy the festive season with, and you can actually start saving the money right now, because during that period we know what happens. So I think you can start saving the monies right now you want to use during that period. At the end of the day, it will also help you ensure that you enjoy the festive season, because the festive season really without money, it is quite shocking. And this is where we have seen people coming out from other places where they have been hustling also to come back and really enjoy their money in this country. So I think this is something also we need to really ensure that we take keen interest in during this festive season. Let's be vigilant, let's be security cautious. At the end of the day, it is going to protect you first, then the property that you own. Because if you lose that thing that you have really worked for, I cannot imagine something that you work for, you have saved for over 10 years, and somebody just comes and takes it in no minute. I can just imagine that pain. It is really quite painful. At the end of the day, it is not good. So I think we have the mandate. We have the right to ensure that we protect our properties. And then for the people who are coming to enjoy your money from wherever you have been working, please, let's also ensure that we share with those who do not have. Let's ensure that we do not overbrag with this money. We do not also overspend it also necessarily. So I think if you have to spend, let us spend it wisely, and we also spend it. We must also enjoy it with those who do not have it. And this is for the people really who have been. We know them, they are coming during this period. They are who have been hustling in other places, from DRC, from South Sudan, from overseas. So you come, if you have to come with the money. So I think I really need to also encourage you to ensure that you share this money within this period here, so that at the end of the day, people who have ill intentions of wanting to enjoy with you do not get involved in theft and then get caught up and then just die like that. So I think that is it. We are putting the discussion to a close for now. And this is the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV with me, Farsih Majid. Today, Frederick Damadria is not with us, and he's not feeling well. We hope tomorrow that he will be bouncing back. And with that, let me first take a short break, and when we turn back, we shall be picking up with the conversion from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league. Go for it!
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league. Go for it!
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that break. And as I already told you, in the second hour, we shall be joined by guests from Uganda Rural City Chamber of Commerce to be telling us more about their session and about the bodies. And they're ready with us. And I happen to be joined by the president-elect, and he will be also telling us more on their session. And as well, I'm joined by the secretary. They will be in place to discuss more on these issues here. But for now, allow me to introduce themselves, because I and the president-elect, and as well on my left is the secretary, our newly elected, I believe, and because he's the big man, you're most welcome, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, viewers and management of West Nile TV. We are very grateful to be here. I'm called Ronald. I am the chairman, Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
That is the president-elect, and on my left, as I did say, is the secretary. He also has the mandate to introduce himself, because I believe they're the ones that can best introduce themselves. I cannot be able to introduce them very well. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, our host, viewers, and the management of West Nile TV. My name is Rose Munduni. I am the secretary for Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Arua City. Thank you so much. You're most welcome.
All right, thank you. As the host, I'm Farsih Majid as well, and we shall be able to go with you at the hour of 9. And then, without wasting any time, we expect the president in a minute to be telling us more about where he will be able to tell us of how this association is going to help the people doing business, because this Arua City Chamber of Commerce, somebody may not be knowing more about it. It's actually a body that brings out people who do business together, irrespective of the size of the business. And so long as you're a member and you're doing business, you are part of this association here. And without wasting any time, I want to bring on the secretary to tell us more about this association. And because he's the one who receives the papers, who knows more about this association, and he should be able to clearly lament to us what exactly this Arua City Chamber of Commerce is all about. Thank you.
Listeners and viewers, thanks very much. As earlier on I had said, my name is Emmanuel Rose Munduni. I am the Secretary of Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Arua City, the custodian of instruments of Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is a business umbrella organization, and that is all over the world, and it was formed in the year 1933. Its formation was as a result of the challenges of the world economic depression. And when we talk about the world economic depression, all of us are aware that in the world, before the year 1933, we had an aspect where there were challenges of poverty, challenges of absence of essential commodities for life, absence of avenue in order to provide for the basics like food, for the basics like shelter, for the basics like education, and for the basics to do with domestic or household income. This now gave impetus in the hands of the world leaders to say, let us have an economic umbrella, economic hand, that is to ensure that the situations at hand which were not so much attractive are brought to a book. It therefore gave foundation to the formation of the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Yes, in Uganda in 1978, the Chamber of Commerce was active, but there is an aspect where there was also an economic war. And this economic war was spearheaded by one of our former presidents, by the name of General Idi Amin Dada, where the Asian traders in Uganda were moved out of Uganda, were forced to move out of Uganda in a view, in his manner, in his understanding, in his world view, that the economy of Uganda was predominantly to be handed over to the Ugandans, to be managed by the Ugandans, to be geared by the Ugandans, and that kind of thing. You now realize it left a lot of things out of hand. Factories could not run because there was no fuel. Vehicles could not move because there would be no fuel in order to run the vehicles. Workers in the factories or the industries could not be paid because basically there was economic quagmire and that kind of a state. Now in Uganda, Chamber of Commerce activities were paralyzed. But as I talk now, the parliament really enacted and moved itself very swiftly to ensure that Chamber of Commerce was revitalized. And that's why right now we have the branch chambers in the district, branch chambers at the city, branch chambers in the various aspects of life in order to ensure that we do a lot of things. Now the question here is, do many people understand that there is chambers in place? Not many. It is only the allies who know that there are chambers in place, and it is only in the cities, it is only in the district headquarters, it is only in the business fraternity or business centers where people can speak about the chambers. But the local community may not be in position to say about the chambers. I am here as a secretary trying to give a view, trying to educate, trying to give awareness on how one can enroll and become a member of chambers, Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Listener, we have 4 categories of membership in Chamber of Commerce and Industries. But before getting into the 4 categories of membership of chambers, we have what we call as the business registration. Anyone doing and everybody doing business in Arua City, in West Nile, in Uganda is supposed to have the business registered. How do you get your business registered? You pay a business registration of only 10,000 shillings. Whether you are baking chapati, whether you are selling green vegetables, whether you are doing a business of what nature, this business is supposed to be registered, so that when your business is in problems, when you as a business person is in problems, then it will be very easy for this umbrella organization to come to your rescue. If it is taxes, it comes to your rescue. If it is municipal law enforcement officers or city law enforcement officers trying to do something that can kill, that can frustrate, that can destroy your business, this umbrella organization that comes to your rescue. Second, now to the membership. The first category of membership is what we call as the ordinary membership. Sometimes some people call ordinary membership as a bronze member. To qualify to become a member on a bronze, you make a registration of membership totaling to rather 100,000 Ugandan shillings. When you pay 100,000 Ugandan shillings, it means that you are able to participate in the annual general meetings of Whitehall Chamber of Commerce and Industries. You are able to avail yourself to election in the position of chairperson of a committee. And when I talk about chairperson of a committee, we have chairpersons like finance chairperson, agric chairperson, ICT chairperson, chairperson for construction, chairperson for internal trade, external trade in the chambers of commerce. Here now you qualify to be nominated and again to be voted in these positions. And the second position, the second portfolio of chambers is what we call as the silver member. When we say you pay silver membership, you put in a total of 250,000 Ugandan shillings. On putting a total of 250,000 Ugandan shillings, this means you must have your business name registered. This means you can offer yourself to be elected in the 4 top positions in the leadership of a chamber. And what are some of these 4 top positions in the chambers? One is the vice chairperson Chamber of Commerce and Industries at branch level. The second one is the position of a secretary that I hold. The third one is the position of the treasurer. And the fourth one is the position of the coordinator. Our current chairperson Chamber of Commerce is our brother Debo Ronald, who is right now in the studios with us here. And our treasurer is Haji Jamali Irima, and right now he's doing his businesses and again also carrying on the mobilization agenda on behalf of Chamber of Commerce and Industries outside there. Our coordinator is Miria Ahmed Miria, and he's the person who runs around whenever we want to do mobilization, when we want to bring members of the business associate together, and he does that on our behalf. Okay. Then our vice chairperson is Mr. Ochaya Tony. Mr. Ochaya Tony is a professional finance manager. He's a professional banker. He's a professional business or business manager, and he's one of us. Now, the third membership is what we call as the gold membership. So far right now, the number of persons who have subscribed to gold are not so many in Arua City. We have our chairperson, Dr. Devo, who is our chairperson right now. He is a gold member. Okay.
I was actually coming to that, and if you are to make an observation of people enrolling into business in the post-COVID era, you can realize that the numbers of people who have really ventured into business has gone up. And how many of these can we say are registered members of the Chamber of Commerce Arua City? Thank you.
So far so good. We have about a total of 250 members who are registered, these are registered members of what chambers of commerce and industries. It means they belong to the categories of either the silver, the ordinary, the gold, or the associate members. When we talk about the associate member, this is a member who is a life member already in the chambers of commerce and the industries. Now, our chairman is a gold member, and beyond the chairperson is the membership called the associate member. When we say you're an associate member, it means you are a life member. You can now make a subscription of beyond 500,000. But at 500, you are a gold member. But beyond 500, you become an associate member. This means you can be elected as a national president. You can be elected as a national vice chairperson. And that really is, what is subscribed as an entitlement to members called associate members. Okay. And I think so far, this is where I can stop, and the rest will be presented by my chairperson, then I come.
Bring the chairman on board, and chairman, as you have taken over leadership, first of all, I also want to congratulate you again. I congratulated you at last time, but it's a pleasure for me to congratulate you again upon taking up this position here.
Thank you so
much. And in your leadership, how do you intend to really bridge the gap between the vendors and the other people who are doing, the various people doing businesses within the relevant authorities, and how do you intend to help these people once they become members of your association? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, presenter. It's really my pleasure to be here. Chamber, they have given us a good history of Chamber. I've been a member of Chamber for the last 8 years. With Chamber, traveled a few places, and I know what Chamber does out there. I know what we have been lacking. Principally, every private business person is a member of Chamber, because that is the overall body that runs or coordinates the affairs of the private sector. If you see in Uganda, we have about 1.1 million micro, medium and small enterprises. 1.8 million. Maybe the number has even gone up. And 80% of our GDP is run by the private sector. And about 80% of those, about 70% of those private sectors are led by women, youth, and refugees. So we are running the economy. 80% of the GDP is run by the private sector. That means we play more role than what government is actually doing. So it is in order for us to organize businesses together, and we see how to protect ourselves. As the secretary had said, the origin of Chamber was after the economic meltdown, the world economic meltdown. The business people came together and said, oh, we have gone through this difficult time. How can we protect ourselves? So the principles or the objectives of Chamber are the same all over the world. One, we do advocacy. When government is making laws concerning business, Chamber ideas are incorporated in those laws. At the committee stage before it comes to the parliament, or even in our local states here. So, now, using that, in our situation here, we have business people who have been wholesalers. They used to go from manufacturers, they bring their goods, they were the wholesalers here, and then there are those who were buying from them and become retailers. But now if you see that chain, everything has changed. You find somebody comes from China, all the way is doing retail in Arua City, or even the trading centers. So we need something that can regulate our businessmen, because you can't just be at large. The investors should know what they can do. They should also leave what local people can do to local people. So such things, we are going to engage our local leaders to come up with a bylaw that can protect the local business at the policy level. That's one of the ways Chamber can work to protect business people. Now, even as we do business, we're doing cross-border business, we're doing, even internally, when you get problems with the authorities in another country, let's say Congo or Sudan, it is a mandate of Chamber. If you're a Chamber member, Chamber will take the lead to negotiate whatever you have been entangled in. We have a committee that will lead, will be behind them. We shall coordinate with our Chamber in the other country. Then we go and discuss the challenges our business person is going through, and we see how to negotiate. If you go as an individual, nobody will listen to you. They will squeeze you properly But if you go as chamber, definitely you already have a firm foundation to advocate or to negotiate your position. Even internally, when traders have problems with the URA, chamber takes lead if a member has been assessed by URA in one way or the other. Sometimes we have ignorance of tax laws. You may fail to file in time or you file wrongly. So when you get problems with URA, within chamber, we have people who know tax laws. We have tax agents, we have auditors. So we will use such people to go and negotiate on your behalf, together with you in front of URA. The same with NSSF, the same with the UNSB, the same with the UNBS. So all these regulatory authorities, even municipalities, city authorities, chamber will go and negotiate with you, will go and negotiate on your behalf. And even among members, there might be a problem. You know, business, as we struggle. When people get problems, chamber will come in and make sure that the members are reconciled. Even you may have a problem with your landlord or whatever. When you are stuck somewhere in running business, that is the mandate of chamber. If you're a member, you come to our office, you state the problem, and immediately we swung into action.
Okay.
That is one of the roles. Now, strategic networking. Chamber's role is to network members among ourselves and internationally. This time, you know, chamber has been an association of class. Before elections, the actual members of chamber in Ero City were very few. They were around 60 or 70. Now, when we came in, we mobilized around, and somehow it has jumped up to 250. Actually, around 250 there, 220, 250. But our target is to increase the membership of chamber to over 2,000. We want chamber to be the Arua City chamber to be the biggest in the country. How are we going to do that? We are going to have our ordinary members within the city. Physically, we shall visit them. They register with us. But we shall have an online platform, because the young generation now is doing business online. Right now, we're doing a website for chamber. We're doing e-commerce. E-commerce, basically, we shall have a platform where members can advertise their business. People can buy from that. We do international networking through through our websites. So, like yesterday, people already calling from Masaka, from Kampala, from elsewhere. They want to join the chamber of Arua City. So the vibrancy of the chamber is going to attract people not only in the city, we shall attract people in the region and also in the whole country.
Yes, Chairman, just putting you to a halt, you are talking about people calling from Masaka. And what is the criteria for joining this? Because you have had other districts also having their own chambers. Recently, when you were holding your elections, we did have people from Arua district. As far as Koboko were also having their own chambers. Is there any limitation to it that maybe if I come from Koboko, I cannot join the Arua City chamber? Come on, it's open and free.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Chamber, you know, business is interlinked. It is a global village. So what we normally do, whereas right now, okay, Arua City Chamber is fully constituted. We have been sworn in. Actually, you're introducing President-elect. I'm actually sworn in already. So now, Arua City Chamber, we are working with other districts in the region. I already got all the numbers of the commercial officers in West Nile last night. We're engaging them to activate the chambers in their district. Koboko is doing very well in chamber. Yumbe is organizing itself. I'm told maybe they have also elected their people. We are elected making that link. We want to bring Zombo on board. Bakwach, Vura, because you know Arua district is called Vura now. It's called Arua district.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of enterprises there. So we want to bring those people together so that they register in chamber. So that we become a regional chamber.
Okay.
Arua City will coordinate, but the other districts must also have their chamber.
Okay.
Yeah. So a member, you can be in Arua district but register in Arua City.
All right. Thank you so much. Putting you to a hold. I also want to bring back the secretary now. Given the fact that you have actually lamented on the benefits of this association, and I think as a business person, this is something that you really do not have to miss out. And now to the secretary, how does one become part of this association so that he or she can also enjoy these benefits that the president did allude to? Thank you. Because somebody may be out there not having knowledge about the Chamber of Commerce, despite the several benefits that the president actually has now clearly explained to us.
How one becomes a member
Yes.
of Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Viewers, business must be seen as our tribe. It must be seen as our religion. That is why when you ask my chairman, can a person in Masaka be registered here? Can a person from what Koboko be registered here, and how that can be done? You know, you may be from Koboko by birth, but having businesses in Arua city. In Masaka you have a business, and again in Arua city you have a business. This means you deserve to be a member of Chamber of Commerce and Industries here in Arua. This is where your businesses are. After all, our mandate is really to incubate businesses, is to nurture these businesses, is to progress these businesses, is to develop these businesses. And what are these businesses we are talking about? The tiniest businesses of all in the center, in the heart of Arua city, the macro businesses. Majority of our business persons belong to this category of macro. And when you run a macro business professionally, you run it following customer care with observance of business ethics, you will find that these businesses calculatively will begin walking. And when they walk, the walk will reach a second journey, and the journey is what we call as the smaller enterprises. Now getting into the heart of Arua center, Arua city, you'll find business persons in the kiosks, business persons in small shops, business persons all over, and those are small businesses. And when we run them properly, you'll find that employment does not become a challenge at all. You'll find that we are growing. You'll find that our GDP is growing. And that is what, as Chamber, we must really be able to develop, we must be able to protect, and from there, we expect the businesses to grow a journey of medium enterprises, and which are the majority businesses in Uganda. Now, how does one become? You know, it is a question of ethics. It is a question of integrity. It is a question of showing your identity. And how do you show your identity? You are a business person, there's no need for you really to wait for somebody to come to say, my dear member, I want you to register. I want you to be a member of Chamber of Commerce and Industries, because Chamber has a lot of services to you as a business person. We arbitrate on your behalf. We arbitrate. We network on your behalf. We market on your behalf. We do what you cannot do as an individual person. Like an example, just a few weeks ago, I think exactly 1 week now, we lost our mother, Madam, the late Ondiria Margaret from Ofaka. My chairman does not know the family that gave birth to this our mother that we lost. Ondiria Margaret was carried by the son alongside one other daughter. You know, they got an accident which involved the URA and the rest of it. Then as arbitrators, we brought the chambers in the center. We negotiated on behalf of the affected family. And this asserted some level of some calm in the business fraternity at the family level. It even made a little bit the burial process to be done with a lot of ease. And we have not stopped there. We'll continue. And yet, the family is not in the members of the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. So as Chamber, we encourage that everyone doing business ought to have the business registered, ought to be a member in the business. And when we grow, and this will really ensure that our businesses grow. I want to appreciate, especially our chairperson who is right now with us here in the studios. The chairperson was able to see what happens in the rest of the business world internationally. And this that he saw is going to make him a role model to the business persons in West Nile, across the country, and again also in Arua city, how people outside there do businesses. He's talking about online businesses. Right now, you look a very interesting person, like a comedian. When you begin doing business in a very funny way, you are seated at your business premises, waiting for the customers to come, and yet there's a much more better way that can enable you to avail your product, to avail your goods, to reach out with the services to the consumers outside there online.
Okay.
You know, this is one other bigger thing that we do in Chambers of Commerce and Industries. Networking. And in networking, we are not going to relax a lot. When we network, it means we are going to create market. When we network, it means we are going to attract customers. When network, it means we are going to grow our businesses. We really want to ensure that Chamber of Commerce is not a name, but it is a functioning entity. Okay. Functioning today. functioning tomorrow, and functioning forever and ever. And we will want to see Arua City Chamber, the leading chamber, the hub of Chamber of Commerce activities in Uganda.
Okay, I was actually coming to that. While registering, there's something I meant to understand. Are we registering individuals as persons, or we can actually register businesses as individuals? Because we have a scenario where these two can actually work as one, where a business entity can be sued as a person in terms of anything, like when terms.
Oh yes, specifically on this.
Are we registering individuals, or we can as well also register companies as part of Chamber of Commerce?
My host is specifically on this. We do individual business registrations. And as we do individual business registrations, it means you become an entity that can sue in the case being offended. And that can also be sued in case have not acted wisely. And beyond this, we also do registration of companies. Like we have West Nile TV. West Nile TV can register with Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry branch in Arua as an entity, as an organization, as a board. It means when we are moving to the AGM, we'll bring one invitation letter to West Nile TV. Maybe the managing director, and where the managing director is a little bit so much busy, managing director can make a secondment of one of the directors, of one of the members, of one of the workers here to represent the organization, because it's already a well-registered member of Chamber of Commerce. So we do both individual registration and again organizational registration into the membership of Chamber of Commerce and the industries.
Okay. And now putting it as a whole, now bringing the president back, recently where we did, I want to reflect back on the elections, we did have chaotic scenes, not only within the election also, we did also have chaotic scenes witnessed at the market. This is where the business people are. And I believe that very much also contributed to maybe the numbers of the people joining the session. As the new leadership in office, how do you intend to address on these challenges, maybe the differences here and there, to see to that everybody is united and we're on one path as business people, and we are brought together to see to it that we work towards ensuring that our businesses keep on striving very well for the next generations to come? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Chamber elections all over the country went smoothly without any incidents. And Arua's election was the last. Actually, it was postponed by about 2 weeks. It affected the program of Chamber. By now, we're supposed to be electing the regional representatives, and by December, we're supposed to be electing the president. It is unfortunate that Arua election turned to be violent. And it was not our making. We were spectators of the violence. Most chamber elections happen on tea. Members, as he said now, Arua has about 200 members. Members will come in a room, they serve themselves sodas, they campaign, they elect the president or the chairperson. And if somebody is a bit good and has failed, we also sit down, where can we put this one? It is done in a very courteous way, because these are business people who have come together with the similar challenges and the same objectives: to protect themselves, to network, to market, to advocate, things the same. But in Arua, unfortunately, it took a tribal line. You know, a person like me, I don't often talk about my tribe, because I believe we are one. As East Africa is coming together, East African Federation, Africa is coming together, Uganda, we're talking about patriotism, and this organization is called the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a national organization. Now, if you're a leader, you start seeing Uganda National Chamber in a tribal eye, then you're not the right leader. So for us, we couldn't do much. We spectated the drama, but anyhow, it ended well. It ended in our favor. So that chaos in the election is now the issue of the past. Right now, we're looking at all the members of Chamber. How we come together. All the people who are here to join Chamber, we're trying to bring them here, regardless of religion, tribe, ethnicity. We're going to have Indians in this Chamber. We're going to have Chinese, Europeans, all the tribes in Uganda, because Arua is a metropolitan city.
Exactly.
So that issue is now the past.
Okay.
Now you asked about what? The chaos in the market?
The market, yes, because these are business food, and that may be also indirectly affecting your operations in terms of membership. Yes.
Okay. Now, the chaos in the, okay, when they were launching the Market Act, I was actually present. What I observed was that the people in the main market feel disfranchised, that whereas they are in the main market, the vendors outside on the streets are blocking buyers from reaching the market. And yet they are paying dues to Arua City. And their business is not doing well because of the vendors. Now, when I saw the Market Act, the MPs did a good job. It precisely addressed the issue of vendors. If that act is well implemented, there's supposed to be no street vending. Street vending can only occur if all the stalls in the market are filled up and there's no more space. From there, somebody can create a private market, or even the local authorities can come up with a space designated as a market. So I think the chaos in the city market was because there was no law. The Market Act was not in place. And secondly, if the Market Act is implemented the way it is, it will succeed. But if people start bending that law, we shall go back to square one. True. So my kind appeal is that let them sensitize the people, let them encourage people to fill that market, let them close this vending on the streets, so that we formalize. One of the roles of chamber, we want to do organized business. Formalize your business. You should be known by URSB, you should be known by URA through getting a TIN number, so that we do things in an orderly way. Chamber is an orderly body that superintends over orderliness in business. Okay. So the people who are doing informal business will be hard to protect. Like this gentleman who got accident. We just came in because we know the border industry is crucial for us in running our businesses. So let everybody start doing a formal business. Those guys who are doing street vending should go back to the main market, get stalls. There's going to be an allocation committee. We pray that the allocation committee will do a good job. They have said clearly, if you're a politician, don't get a stall. If you're a civil servant, don't get a stall. Okay. That stall is meant for ordinary Ugandans. The government of Uganda is trying to bring people from subsistence agriculture to the money economy. Majority of us are poor. You say West Nile is the second poorest region in Uganda. Okay. How can we change that? Let the people who are able to do business have their space. We who are leaders, who have other sources of income, we can do other things other than going to, compete with those small stores in the market, in the taxi park and things like that.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. President. And now, as we're running out of time, I can just see that our time is really running so fast. And number 9, we shall be having the news bulletin in Lubarati with Peteman, and I can see him smartly dressed and preparing to come and give you what is happening in the world of news. And with that, we'll be bringing you to have your final say on maybe your final recommendations to see to it that the message reaches to these intended people. And I'll start with the Vice Secretary, and then I will be summarizing with you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Your final words, Mr. Vice Secretary.
I am the secretary, the full secretary. Okay. My final word and appreciation to West Nile TV for this host and for this platform you have given to us as chamber leaders for Arua City. Viewers, I encourage all our business persons outside there to identify with the chamber by ensuring that you do register your business with the chamber, you do register your membership with the chamber as a person and also as a company. And this will make us run together and grow together. I appreciate and I submit. Thank you.
All right, that is the Secretary Munduni Rose, Chamber of Commerce, and then on my right is the President. Yeah. President, you're also most welcome. By the way, if you do not know who the President is, he's a businessman doing so many businesses of which I cannot reveal here, but for those who know him, you really must be knowing that he's really into business, so I think I'll be also having the privilege to have him say his last words as we run out of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Our dear viewers, West Nile is our city. I want to urge you, let's be united. Let's not separate ourselves on small issues. Let's come together. Let's embrace Chamber. Chamber is a body that will take us very far. We pray you give us the chance to support us. We're going to make sure the Chamber of Arua City is a regional chamber, is a center of excellency in the country. On Thursday, I'm going to Kampala to meet the President of Chamber of Commerce, Madam Olive Chigongo. That's my first time to to see her, by the way. We're going to present our agenda as a Rural City, what we intend to do. And we pray that the Secretariat will support us. We're in touch with them. They're very impressed about our team. They're impressed about our plans. So just be patient with us. We're going to go far. And we're going to do some things good in this city. Thank you so much.
All right, with that, we are eventually coming to the end of today's discussion, and that has been the Kokoliriko live show. And today we did have members from Rural City Chamber of Commerce, the top leadership, telling us more about the chamber. And I believe for you kept it right from the time we began until the time we are now closing. I want to thank you in a special way. Today has been the Thursday edition with me, Farsih Majid, and Frederick Dramadri. I shouldn't say he's not well, but hopefully he will be bouncing back with us tomorrow. And with that, I want to thank you for your time, from the time we began till the time we are now putting the discussions to a close. And from me to you, have yourselves a good day with that. Listen, and remember at 9 we shall be having the news bulletin in Lubarati with Feta Emmanuel coming through, and then other programs will be subsequently following. With that, from me to you, it's a goodbye. Thank you.